This is the second most tender cut of beef that no one seems to talk about. Welcome to HQ Meats. I'm Mason the Butcher, and I'll be your guide as we craft our gourmet meal for today. By now, likely everyone has heard of the filet mignon and its extreme tenderness. But what about the flat iron? It has completely slipped under the radar, which is absolute nonsense. The second most tender cut of beef, the flat iron, is an extremely well marbled and super flavorful steak that is truly special. And that's why I'm very excited to grill this hidden gem. But before we can eat, we must get acquainted with the seasoning, cooking, and slicing process. So for now, we must hold our horses because just like you, I'm dying to have a taste too.
For this seasoning, we're going to be a bit creative. Apply a nice coating of salt on your steak. Then, let it come up to room temperature while the salt pulls moisture from the meat and accentuates the beef flavor. After about 15 to 30 minutes, we will continue the seasoning process with our house steak seasoning. We're going to take a sear first approach because we want to lock in our flavors and develop the perfect crust. In order to do so, we need our grill to be scorching hot and must ensure that the charcoal is burnt down to a slightly white color for no creosote taste. Lay your steak on the grill and sear for about 3 minutes, then flip. Every steak is different, so we have to keep an eye on it. But we're looking to develop a mahogany crust, so once the fat is bubbling on your steak, flip it. For a flat iron, we're targeting 124 degrees Fahrenheit, so flip back and forth with no regard to how many times you do it. Let the flame kiss the steak and develop your desired crust. Move your steak off the flame and allow it to cook with indirect heat until it reaches 124 degrees Fahrenheit. We have the perfect crust and have reached our target temperature. However, before we slice the steak, we must let it rest for 5 minutes. And no better way to let it rest than with a piece of smoked beef tallow on top. The flat iron grain is a bit tricky. It shifts throughout the meat. That's why we're going to cut our piece in half and rotate our pieces accordingly and cut against the grain. Slicing in the right direction is the difference between a top-tier steak and shoe leather.
Standing here staring at this steak, it's hard to believe that it's gone under the radar for so long. Just based off the looks, I'd say it should be at the top of any restaurant menu. But, the moment of truth, we have to give it a try. So we're going to take our piece, scoop up all that au jus, and it's dripping. Oh my goodness. Steak should taste like this. It should taste beefy like this. It should be tender like this. It's tremendous. It really is tremendous, and it's great value for what you're getting. But I think it's up to you to figure that out for yourself. So give it a try and let us know how it turns out. But before you do, I want to say thank you. This is an incredible adventure, and I love experiencing new foods with people I care about. So, dig in, and have a good night.